Hello students. So today, after the last previous lecture on the PER charting, I had selected a topic that is the Gantt chart. Gantt chart is also a network analysis in which we have to find out the time taken to be complete the task. So a goal without plan is just a wish. So whenever we have any goal to be get completed, there should be a planning, there should be a proper process of planning so that we can achieve those goals. Similarly, Gantt chart help in achievement of the project or the event or the goal what we had set previously. So talking about the Gantt chart, a Gantt chart, which was previously known as the harmonogram, is one of the bar charts. Mean when we are representing our planning, when we are showing off our planning about any project that we gonna complete to achieve the goal, we will formulate it in a bar chart that illustrate a project schedule. This chart lists the tasks to be performed on a vertical axis. Mean when we will draw the here when we will draw the bar, graphical presentation we gonna do in the vertical axis, mean in the y axis we will show the list of the tasks or list of the events that is to be required to perform for the completion of the task, and the time interval means on the x axis there will be the time location, means time will be shown in the x axis. The width of the horizontal bar is the graph shows the duration of the each activity. For example, if the bar is that long, the mean that much of the duration, either it is 0, 1, 2. So 1 to 2, that much of the duration is required to complete the task A or the activity A. So here it was the Gantt chart graphical presentation how we do. Modern Gantt charts are also shows the dependency relationship. Means nowadays what type of a Gantt charts are being used, in that Gantt charts the relationship between the two activities are also being shown. Means how two tasks or the two events are correlated to each other, how they are either they are independent of each other or they are dependent on each other. That is also been shown in the Gantt charts. Gantt charts are sometimes equated with the bar chart. We also call them the bar chart even sometime. So here's the history about the Gantt chart. The first known tool of this type was developed in 1896 by Carol Admicke, who called it the harmonogram. I already told you previously the Gantt chart was named by harmonogram. In 1912, the Hermann Sutures published the Gantt chart for the first time. The chart is named after Henry Gantt, who designed his chart around the year 1910 to 1915. So it is named after the name of the person who designed it. Person who designed it was Henry Gantt. One of the first major application of the Gantt chart was done by United States during the World War I. The earliest Gantt charts were drawn on the papers. In 1999, the Gantt charts were identified as one of the most widely used management tools for the project scheduling and controlling. So that was the history about the Gantt charts. Talking about the definition of the Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a chart in which a series of horizontal lines shows the amount of work done in a certain period of a time in relation to the amount planned for those periods. Means it is the graphical presentation of time taken to get task completed. So type of the Gantt charts are progress Gantt chart, in which progress Gantt chart shows like how our project or how our events are progressing one by one, and linked Gantt chart showing the connection between the events, how one event is connected with other event, and how the events are getting completed or task got completed. Next is the process of Gantt charting. Firstly, we have to identify the purpose. Identify the purpose mean why we are using the Gantt charting for planning and controlling. Why not other tool? So, firstly, we'll find out the significance for the use of the Gantt charting in a particular kind of a project. After finding out that purpose, next we'll define the project timeline. We'll approximate the time duration which is required to complete a project with certain goals and objectives. Then we'll do what? We'll divide the whole task into the small event or small task. Mean, if our goal is like to provide a qualitative care to the patient, then that is the ultimate goal or what we are planning for. To achieve that, we will subdivide some activities how we can achieve the qualitative care of the qualitative and quantitative, not quantitative, qualitative care of the patient. So we will subdivide the activities or tasks that will help us to ultimately to reach that goal. So we will subdivide similarly the project or the task or the event what we have scheduled for the completion. Then create a progress bar. Then we'll start the bar charting. We'll progress which event to be taken first, which event to be taken after that, which event can go simultaneously, and which event is dependent completely on the other event that should be completed first, then only we can proceed for the other event. Next is define the critical pathway. We'll show the longest path which take the longest duration to get completed the task. तो हम critical pathway भी draw करेंगे. Next is add the milestone markers. Means we will put the milestone markers where it is required. So that was the process for Gantt charting. Next is construction of the Gantt charting. How to construct the Gantt chart. Next talk. So firstly it is horizontal axis. Horizontal axis is like this. It shows the time. So your x-axis will show the time over which the program is to be completed. Thus the length of each task or each event bar correspond to the duration of the task. How much long r bar is, okay, just a minute, we'll show like this. Okay, 1 bar. So from here to here, that much of duration is required to complete the task A or task B, whatsoever it is, broken down into increment days, weeks or months. It can be either days, it can be either weeks, or it might be months. The duration can be of any type. Next comes with the vertical. Here are y-axis or the vertical axis. It will show the events. So it is showing the event. Vertical में हम लोग क्या करेंगे? We have I already told you we have a certain goal to be achieved. That goal, to achieve that goal, we will subdivide the task. हमने उन task को now we have to arrange those tasks in the chronological manner. Means task A, task B, task C, that has to be allocated with the names in the chronological manner. That will be shown in the vertical axis of the bar chart. Next comes the arrow connecting independent tasks reflects the relationship following shows dependency where one task cannot be begin until another is completed. Okay, like this is a graph. Here it is one event, here is another event. When there is the arrow, like there is arrow, this arrow will show the relationship between these two events. If there is arrow means firstly this event, like event A needed to be completed, then it will get followed by event B. So it will showing the relationship until or unless our A activity got completed, not got completed, our B activity can't get started. So here it is the relationship shown by the arrows. Here I'll show you in a graph. Okay, here it is showing you these are the events. Okay, these are the task names or activities names that has to be completed. So it is in the vertical axis. Okay, that is in the vertical axis, and this is the time. This is the time in which time we have to complete the activity. Okay, for example, like first is define specification. हमें firstly अपनी specifications को identify करना है, identify the customers. तो to complete that it may take 6 January to 6 January का time, इतना सा duration. तो means 1 day of a time is required to identify the customer. Next is interview the 10 customer. After identifying the customer to interview 10 customer, it will take from 6 to 9, means 6 to 9 3 days. 3 days are required for this task. It is showing the time. Next is interpret the requirements. So when we are, and here it is arrow. This arrow is showing कि जब हमारे customers का interview हो जाएगा, then only we can go for the interpretation of the requirement what we require. Then only we can move forward. So it is simple. Any event which is starting from here after this, then so it is the duration for each task. If there is arrow means this activity gonna get completed first, then we will move toward the this activities. Mean relationship, how the two events are correlated to each other, either they are independent. For example, I'll show you. Now every event is correlated. Here these two events, this and this, these two events are independent of each other. Mean to start this wali event means design the test, it does not require the completion of MQ presented. We don't require here to start this activity until or unless this activity got completed. So these are the independent activities, and these two are dependent activities. Firstly this gonna get completed, then we will get into this wali activity. So these are the relationship here. Now telling about the use of the Gantt chart in nursing management. Firstly, to show the current schedule status, means up to which or up to when or up to what extent we had been reached yet. That can be seen by the use of the Gantt chart in nursing management. To measure the task duration in the project, we can find out how much of the time can require each task to get completed. To plan how long a project should take, means ultimately or estimate the time duration for the completion of whole task or whole project that is in our hand. That can be predicted or can be estimated by the use of the Gantt chart. Next is a useful tool for planning and scheduling the project. It is one of the useful tools, as same as of the PERT. Provide dependency between their tasks, means we can come to know which tasks are dependent, means which are in the relation of completion with each other. Next, to monitor the project progress, how means up to what we had been reached yet and up to what we have to reach in the future, we can estimate and we can monitor it. To assist in remedial action to bring the project back on course if required. Means if we are lacking somewhere, if there is any kind of hurdle, or we are not able to achieve the goals in the certain period of a time that has been estimated, or that much of a time is in our hand, we can use the remedies or other method to achieve that task within the predefined duration of the time. Next is to visualize immediately what should have been achieved at any point in the time. Means at this time what we need to achieve we can find out by looking over the Gantt chart. Mean if it is 16th January till 16th January what we needed to get completed with, we can get a estimate, or we can look over the Gantt chart ki till that day, till this day, this task should be completed, and from this day we have to move forward with the next plans. So we can visualize all these things. Next is advantages of the Gantt chart. It avoid completion confusion. Means we can know ki how much of the time is required to get completed with an task. So means estimate we have ki this much duration can be taken by this particular event, and we will get completed with this project by this much of a time. Keep everyone on the same page. Means person will be on the focus, and person will be known ki where we are, what we had been achieved, and what we have to achieve. Understand the task relationship. Told you already, it can show ki which task doesn't require any task completion and which task we can start by previously or started before the completion of that task, so that we can save the time. For example, if we are taking the test of someone, we know pre-test has been taken place. For the evaluation it gonna be like, okay, firstly if we had taken the pre-test will be resulting in the evaluation only. Means evaluation will follow the pre-test wala task, but for the post-test we have to prepare the question paper. For that we don't need to get the we don't have to wait for the completion of the task evaluation, so we can start previously. It means we can start preparing the question paper priorly before the evaluation event, so we'll save the time here. Next is effectively allocate the resources. Mean which tasks require how much of a time. Means to reduce that time we can allocate the more money and more power there. Means more men and more money can be there, so that the duration can be reduced, and if some tasks require less time, so we can shift this manpower from there to the other tasks, so it can be done. Get a handle on the future. We can come to know ki what hurdles can come in future while we gonna proceed with the planning. Next is it help in planning and monitoring the work of project. Means giving us the a view of the future plan. Time is explicitly expressed in the chart. Means एक project में means like, okay, if this project gonna take 3 months of a period, in that project there are certain activities that has to be performed, and each event will take that मतलब explicit. Okay, 3 months, that 3 months will get explicit into the 2 days, means divided into 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, 8 days, and completely within the 3 months we gonna complete with one project. Deadlines are depicted in the charts. Mean when we had formulated the chart, within that duration from 1st January to till 6th January this task should be completed. So we know the deadline by 6th January it should be completed by hook or crook. Means deadline. Here person will be aware by till this date, by till this time I have to complete my work. So that are the advantages of Gantt chart. Now we will discuss about the limitations. It is very necessary to keep on updating the chart in order to keep it in the current form. Means when we are planning, plans are fluctuating, flexible, and frequently changeable. So it should require a continuous changes in the Gantt chart even. So it is time consuming. It is more means changeable means daily you have to bring changes in the Gantt chart even with change in your planning process. The chart is not able to directly reveal the cost of the alternate loadings. Next, this chart also do not consider the varying processes time among work centers. Other limitations include the inability to include certain constraints like scopes and cost. So these were the limitation of the Gantt charting. Here is a case study in the Gantt chart as a Hysteria 40, a century of psychology at the University of Alberta. So it was a study conducted and it shown that the history of the psychology at the University of Alberta is revealed by examining this Gantt chart in a variety of different ways. This include computing simple descriptive statistics from the chart, creating small version of the Gantts to explore the departmental demographics, and using image processing method to provide measures of the department stability through its history. So that was the case study of the Gantt chart in the University of Alberta. There it was being used. So summary and conclusion. Today we had studied one of the networking analysis tool, that is the Gantt chart. It was named after the name of its inventor Henry Gantt, and it was previously known as by the name of harmonogram, and it shows the bar charting, or it is a graphical representation of the duration taken by each task to get completed, and vertically we shows the chronological events of the project and horizontally will show the time. So that was the Gantt charts presentation. Then we studied the type. There are two type of the Gantt chart, that is the progress, which showing the progress means after this event next event will be taken, and the link chart, which events are related or in a relationship and which events are independent of each other. Then we studied about the advantages and the disadvantages, and then use of the Gantt chart in the nursing management. So these are the bibliographies. Thank you and have a nice day.